sides. So let me go and clean all the glue and stuff off of this, and we'll make the other piece. There is another piece to this. Now that edge needs to be squared off, or at the end. If you look at it, it's wider down here than here. I don't know how I forgot to do that, but I'll go ahead and square that off. Alright, let's square it up. You can see it went to cutting right about there. Yeah, it needs a little squaring up. And there you are, it's squared up. We'll move on to the next piece. Alright, I'm going to cut this little bugger so that I've got two fingers sticking down, and I'll leave a piece on the end that's wide enough to fit the grooves we cut earlier, which is, well, 4 millimeters. Alright, so here we go. Alright, I'm going to check this out and I'll bring you back. Alright, now to cut away everything that doesn't look like two guides sticking down. I think it's going to work. Alright, so now I have to clean off pieces going that way. So let me figure that out and I'll bring you guys back. So now I'm just, I'm going to whittle those two little posts right there. I'm going to whittle those two down until they'll fit inside the other piece. And then we'll come back and we'll take care of this guy to make him the right size. Shouldn't take a lot of doing. We'll work on that as we go along here. What I'm doing is I'm cutting back and forth this way. I measure a little bit and calculate it with my pencil and my little calculator, and then I move in and make another cut. So I'm going to cut 100 thousandths off this side and 100 off of that side and see if I don't wind up still in the middle. Okay, I got to go, almost forgot to include you guys on it, but I've got this to the right width. Now I'm just trying to get it to the right height so that everything sits level. I only want it to be about 40 thousandths above the surface of this guy. So I've made a cut down it, and now I'm going to have to deburr it and try to fit the pieces together, see what happens. Alright, I raised it up another 10 thousandths, the table that is, and we're going to cut off that little bit and check again. I should be very close. Alright, back you up and deburr and try to fit it. Alright, as you can see, it fits just right into there. And now the only thing I need is a hole for the punch to go through right there. So we'll make that. Alright, I'm right in the middle of that thing. I'll poke a hole in it so that I'll get room this way. And I'll come right down to the base of those two little pieces sticking up. Alright, I'm going to move the camera now. But that's the basic plan. I'll go in like that until I see daylight. Then I'll move it back and forth just enough for the Alright, I got them ready to go. These guys were just a little mushroom on the end. And so I had to run them across the belt sander a little bit. But let's see, that's R. That's A. That's a W. Let's put one in here. Okay. Just got moving over one hole. And an R. Moving over one hole. W. Well, they're too far apart. That's all there is to it. I'll be dang. Well. Alright, I went over there and put it on the old workbench, which is made out of 2x6s, and I smacked her good and hard, and there you are. Looks like it'll work out just fine as long as you're on a good solid surface. And they're lined and they're spaced, I would say, right. So I'm going to call this a win. Well, that was kind of an exercise in pain, but if I ever need to stamp some letters reasonably nice and straight and attractive looking in the future, I can do it. Of course, it's about 1975 or so since I did it the last time, so we may never get to that next time. Anyway, it'll be in the drawer there waiting in case I need it. Let's go see what Bubba's doing. Now it seems like this woman from the city's out, driving through the country, and she stops at Uncle Bubba's farm, and she gets out and looks. She walks up to Uncle Bubba and says, "Hey, Mr. Farmer," she said, "could you tell me how come that cow don't have no horns?" Uncle Bubba says, "Well," he says, "some cows are breeds that don't have any horns, like the Angus." He said, "Some cows, they get old, we're milking them, they get touchy, and they start trying to poke us with the horns, and we cut the horns off." And he says, and some of them, when they're calves, we don't want them to grow up with any horns. We put a little drop of acid on the little horns where they grow out, and the horns don't grow out from there none. He said, but in the case of that cow right there, the reason that cow hadn't got any horns is because it's a horse. Well, that's all, folks. Y'all try to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Leave a comment if you got something to say. And above all, remember, keep on keeping on. Bye now.